Good evening, Dhamma friends. Welcome back. We are going to start off our online Pali reading class. I think it's going to be 88. And before we get started, shall we pay respect to the Buddha? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today we are going to look at the Dhammapada stanza 66. And this stanza is also about understanding unwise people, unwise person, or to check whether how much unwise are we yet, or maybe we will actually move from our lack of wisdom into wisdom. So let's take a look at the stanza for our reading part. Charanti bala dummedha amitte neva attana karanta papakam kamma yang hoti katukappala. Charanti bala dummedha amitte neva attana karanta papakam kamma yang hoti katukappala. All right, so we'll be asking from groups now. Someone from group 1 can take up this opportunity. Yes, Melin, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti bala dumeda amitene wa atana karonta papakang kamang yang hoti katu ka palang.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
And group 2, Suzanne, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Charanti bala dumeda amiteneva atana karonta papakam kamam yam hoti katu kapalam.
Okay, great. And
Thank
group
you.
3. Group 3. Someone from group 3.
Nobody read. Bhante, I read.
Yes, please.
Billing here, sorry.
Yes, Melin, please.
I'm working. Charanti bala dumeda. Sorry. Amitene ve atana. Karonta papakang kamang. Yang hoti katu kapalang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 4, KB on, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Charanti bala dumeda amitene wa atana karonta papakang kamang yam hoti katu kappalam.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5. Yes, Melinda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante. Charanti bala dumeda amitena wa atana karonta papakam kamang yam hoti katu kappalang.
Would you like to read the second line again?
Okay. Amiteni wa atana.
Amitene wa attana. Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And group 6, TC.
Thank you. Charanti bala dumeda. Amiteni wa atana. Koronta.
Karonta.
Karonta papakam kamam. Yan hoti kutupa pamam.
Yang hoti
Yam hoti katu ka panam.
katuka phala.
Katu ka panam.
Would you like to go again, Susi? Charanti.
Oh, you're talking about...
Yeah, I'm talking about. Would you like to read again? Yes.
Yeah, sure. Charanti bala dumeda. Amitena wa atana. Karonta papakam kamam. Yan hoti katuka panam.
Katuka phalang.
Katupaka panam.
Palang. Fruit.
Panang. Oh, panang.
Fruit. Palang.
Yeah, panang.
Maybe I can do a
Mm.
little help here. Palang. Palang means fruit in Pali.
Yes, yeah.
Palang. So you can just make a pause here. Yang hoti katuka palang.
Katuka palang.
Yeah, great.
Okay, thank you.
Practice makes better.
Yes.
Then group 7. Yes, Mia, please. Okay. If not, yes, Aliana, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Charanti bala dumeda amitene wa attana karonta papakang kamam yam hoti katuka palang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And last group 8. Yes, Doris, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Charanti bala dumeda atatemi amitene va atana karonta papakam kamang yam hoti katuka palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, so now we'll be giving the opportunity for others. So we'll start with Chupeng. Yes, Chupeng.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Charanti bala lumeda, amiteni wa atana, karunta papakang kaman, yang hoti katu kapalang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti bala damida.
Dumeda.
Charanti bala dumeda. Amitenewa atana. Karunta papakang kamang yam hoti katukap palang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Chompakla. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Charanti bala tumeda. Amiteni va atanta.
Attana.
Atanda.
No, Attana.
Atana.
Yeah, Attana.
Okay. Amiteni va atana. Karonta papakam kamam. Yam hoti katuka palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, then 9.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me, Bhante?
Yes, Maya, I'll give you the chance after. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you,
Okay,
Bhante.
thank you. Thank you for understanding. Yes, 9, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti bala dumeda. Amitena va atana. Karunta papakang kamang yang hoti katu kapalang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Seri, please.
Kihotu Bhante.
Sukihotu.
Charanti bala dumeda. Amitene wa atana. Karonta papakam kama. Yang hoti katukap palang.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Pochuang, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti Bala Dummeda Amitena Wa Atana Karonta Papakang Kamang Yang Hoti Katukap Palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And
Bhante.
Holly, please.
Kyoto Bante and
Suki
everyone.
Hopu.
Charanti Bala Dummeda Amitene wa Atana Karonta Papakam Kamang Yang Hoti Katukap Palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Jenny, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti Bala Dummeda Ami Teniba Atana Karunta Papakam Kamang Yam Hoti Katukap Palang.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thank you.
And Lisa,
Okay, good evening, Bhante.
good evening.
Charanti Bala Dumeda Ami Teni Ver Atana Karonta Papakam Kamam Yam Hoti Katu Kapalam.
Okay,
Katu
great.
Kapalam. Thank you.
Yes. And Chin.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti Bala Dumeda Amitene Ba Atana Karonta Papakang Akamang Yang Hoti Katuka Palang.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And Margaret. Yes.
Evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Charanti Bala Dumeda Amitena Ver Atana Karonta Papakam Kamam Yam Hoti Katuka Palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
And Neoi, please.
You Bhante. Charanti Bala Dumeda Ami Tena Wa Atana Karonta Papakam Kamang Yam Hoti Katu Kapalang.
Okay, great.
You Bhante.
And Lynn, please.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening.
Charante Bala Dumeda Amitene wa Atana Koranta Papakang Kamam
Karonta.
Yam Kamam
Karonta.
Karonta Papakang Kamang Yang Hoti Katuka Palang.
Okay, great. And Hema, yes.
Thank you, Bhante. Charanti Bala Dumita Amiteni Muat Atana Karunta Pa Pakam Kamam Yam Hoti Katukam Palam.
Okay, great.
Thank you,
And
Bhante.
Maya, please.
Hello.
Yes,
I
Maya,
think
please. Please
there's
go ahead.
some problem.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Charanti Bala Dumeda Amitena wa Atana Koronta Papakam Kaman. Sorry?
Karonta.
Sorry? Karonta.
Karonta.
Sorry?
Yes, you are right. Karonta. Karonta.
Karonta Papakam Kaman. Yam Hoti Katu Papalam. Is it all right, Bhante?
Katu Kapala.
Katukah Kampalam. Katuka
There are
Kampalam.
two P here. Two P.
Sorry?
Katu
Katu
Kapala.
Katu Kampalam.
No,
Katu
there's no M.
Kampalam.
No M there. Only P. Katu, two P's. Katu Kapala.
Katu Kapalam.
Katu Kapala.
Katu Kapalam. Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, great. All right. Anybody else who would like to read? Okay, it seems that there are no more wants to read. So I'm going to pick up the stanza now at this point to go for the contextual meanings and the literal meanings. Charanti, first of all, Dhammapada stanza 66, and this stanza is giving us again a kind of nature about unwise people. Charanti bala tumeda amitene va attana karonta papakam kamma yang hoti katu kappalam. First of all, we have to understand what kind of person is the stanza talking about. Bala dummeda. Bala means called unwise. Huh? Dummeda, then there is a Pali word here to be Meda. Meda means wise person. Someone who has wisdom. Now, wise person has been given in few Pali words. Now we understand Sappurisa, the way how the Pali word Sappurisa was given in what you call as a good person. Purisa, Sappurisa, as a good person, or maybe a good person. And then if you take Pandita, Pandita seems to be taken from a very intellectual perspective, someone who has discernment. But when you say Meda, Meda means wisdom, someone who has wisdom. And then what if we put a do as a prefix? Meda is prefix with dum. Actually, dum means the opposite of that particular quality. So dum meda means someone who has lack of wisdom. Maybe you can say someone who has little to no wisdom. Right? So we cannot say that there is someone who has no wisdom, right? Now this is also kind of varying between certain elements. Now this is also something we have to understand relatively. That means someone may be wiser than the other one. But there are people who are not doing really well with regard to their maybe bodily activities, with regard to the three akusala someone can do from the body, but still the person might be having some other good qualities. So that means even it's very sometimes difficult to say someone is a bala in full terms, because everyone has certain good qualities in their own way. But this is kind of a relative usage. When we understand people, someone might be unwise relatively to somebody. But here anyways, Bala Dummeda, unwise person who has no wisdom. There's an unwise person who has no wisdom. And Charanti. Charanti means behave. This is an interesting thing to learn. Charanti. That means when someone is unwise in whatever the way, that person is engaging in akusala in all postures. In all postures. How many postures are there in our normal usage? There are four postures. We call them Iriyapata. Iriyapata. Satipatthana Sutta brings us this Iriyapata interpretation. So what are the four postures? Standing, sitting, walking,
lying.
lying. So now the thing is that when someone is unwise and has lack of wisdom, that person is engaging in akusala in all four postures. Standing also, that person is more towards akusala. And then the unwise person is engaging in akusala even by sitting. And the unwise person is engaging in akusala while lying down. And the unwise person is engaging in akusala while walking. Can you think about some of the akusalas someone can do with regard to these four postures? Standing. What kind of akusala can someone do? Definitely akusalas with regard to the mind, because this is a postureless akusala activity, right? Even someone stands, sit, walk, lie down, doesn't matter, right? Akusala can happen. What are the other akusala activities that someone can engage while standing? Why is standing and talking to somebody, right? Someone can lie, someone can gossip, someone can use hurtful words, someone can divide other people, right? So that means standing posture is a full-blown posture with regard to akusala. And sitting, definitely. Some people feel more comfortable. They are in the home zone at that point to do a lot of akusala, They feel very home. Sitting down and then talking about other people, maybe insulting, maybe gossiping, maybe lying, right? So that's also an easy posture to do such things. What about the lying down posture? What kind of akusala can someone do while lying down? Definitely akusalas with regard to mind can be done. Speech. Yes, nowadays people use handphones, social media, right? You can lie, gossip to somebody, say bad words to somebody, right? It is possible to. But maybe because lying down is a kind of posture that someone is not fully active, maybe the activities with regard to kaya, body, might be less apparent, but still there may be things that someone can engage. And walking posture, what other akusalas can someone do in particular with the walking posture? Definitely all these akusalas can happen while walk. So here the stanza says, Charanti bala dummeda. When someone is unwise and lack of wisdom, that person engages in akusalas in all four postures. Standing, sitting, walking, lying. Charanti bala dummeda. And then, if someone can look at what's happening with this kind of an unwise person, in behaving in all the postures, is that this person is making oneself an enemy. Amittene va attana. Now I'm going to ask you, mitta, right? Then amitta. Mitta, amitta. Mitta means
Friend.
Mitta
Friend,
means
friend, friends,
Mitta means friend. Amitta,
enemy,
enemy. Right? Mitta means friend. Amitta means enemy. Maybe we normally in Buddhism we don't call anybody as enemy. We normally call them as a difficult person, challenging person. Because we don't need to have an enemy, even a thought about somebody. So now when someone becomes unwise and lacking in wisdom, and then thereby engaging in akusala in full four postures, then what is happening to this person is that this person is as if being inimical to oneself, being inimical, become a difficult person. I could say become a very dangerous person to oneself. Normally we think that other people are more dangerous than our character, but what we understand here from the Buddha's word is that when you are engaging in akusala, you are your own disaster. You are your own problem, right? So that's why the Buddha asks us to look within at this point. So, and then amitteneva, you become and you can say an enemy in a way, but you become a challenging, difficult person to yourself. Amitteneva attana. Then what is happening because of that situation? Karanta papakang kamma yang hoti katukappalam. Katukappalam papakang kamma karanta. Katukappalam means katuka. The Pali word katuka means
bitter.
Bitter, right? Pala means fruit. Katuka pala. So when someone is engaging in akusala in full postures, that person is becoming one's own enemy, the most challenging, difficult person to oneself. By engaging in akusala activities that are leading to very visceral, bitter results in the future. Not even in the future. Sometimes some akusalas are giving us results in the real time. Some akusalas are taking some other time. Some akusalas are taking a lifetime. Some akusalas are taking 2 lifetime. Some akusalas are taking more than 2 lifetime. Some akusalas are going to be inoperative. That's interesting. Inoperative. How to make our akusalas inoperative? Attain Nibbana. Then akusalas will be inoperative. They are not going to create, they don't have any weight to take effect. So karma maturation, how does someone create karma, and then how does that person go through the karma, good or bad karma, is such a very hard to say phenomenon. But what we understand is that engage in more good karma, try to avoid all the bad karma, akusala activities. That is our plan that we learn from the Buddhist texts. Now, say for instance, you know the famous stanza, which is said to be given by all the Buddhas: Sabba papassa akaranam, kusalassa upasampada, sachitta pariyodapana, etang buddhana sasana. Now, the advice of all the Buddhas, not even the Shakyamuni Buddha, and also the Buddhas who had existed even before the Buddha Tanankara, even the Buddha who will be Maitreya one day, they have only 3 main advices. One is Sabba Papa Sakarana, to avoid all the akusala activities as much as possible. Kusalasa Upasampada, then while you are avoiding all the akusala activities, you are working towards doing all the kusala activities. And then Sachitta Pariyodapana, purifying your thoughts. Actually, if you do the third one, the first 2 will be complementary. Why? If you purify your thoughts, how come you are engaging in akusala? Akusala will not come to you. You will be only in kusala. So purifying one thought, this is what people do in meditation, right? Meditation is not just sit down and close your eyes. What you are supposed to do is purify your thoughts. Reducing akusala thoughts, reducing the speed, reducing the urgency of akusala thoughts coming up. Otherwise, if you sit for 10 hours, it doesn't make anything. Right? It's just an activity only. So what should happen in meditation is cultivation of kusala thoughts and being able to overcome akusala thoughts. That's why Buddhism says that for that you don't have to always sit down. It is an activity that you have to do while you are spending your day. But time to time it's better to sit down. But the most important part comes from understanding to improve kusala side and to avoid akusala side. Now, Katukappala. Katukappala. Katukappala means bitter results. And when you look at this stanza, what you can see is that this stanza is telling us the nature of our life if we are not really following the wisdom. At the same time, this actually helps us to understand our normal definition of enemy. Now, we normally call an enemy someone who is going to be doing things to us in a very bad way. But the real enemy lies within us. This is the proof. Actually, we are making other people enemy is also because of we made us enemy in the first place. Right? Let's say you make an argument with somebody, it's because of your problem. And that person is becoming an enemy after that. Now you have two enemies to fight with. Right? Two enemies to deal with all the time. Sometimes that physical enemy is distancing yourself. Maybe going somewhere farther. But the internal enemy is always troubling you. So this is a very good idea to look at how to navigate, how to bring our self into kusala activities without making us a vantage point onto looking at us as being enemies within us. So that's the stanza. Now, the story about the stanza is also very interesting. We will pick up the story and then we will get into the notes. The story about this stanza is about someone called Suppa Buddha Kuttivatu. Someone might think that, is he a Buddha? The Buddha here means Pabuddha, Suppabuddha, not Suppabuddha, Suppabuddha Kutti. What is Suppabuddha? Pabuddha means? Now there is an idea in Buddhism with regard to someone's death and then the rebirth. It is said that now normally people think that when they die in the bed at night, this is a good thing. But in Buddhism does not look at dying in the night bed. What Buddhism looks at it, being able to die mindfully. That is a peaceful death. Where did Buddha talk about this thing? Asam mulho kalang karoti. This is one of the 11 benefits of practicing metta. Only metta can help you. Huh? That's the interesting thing. Only metta can help you for your last moment. Sometimes you may be doing a lot of good karma, but nothing might come to your mind sometimes because metta is the only driving force someone can feel any moment to channel. So the Buddha said that a peaceful death could be to somebody when someone can die mindfully. What does it mean? Does it mean that you have to practice metta all the time? Sit down, may I be well, happy, peaceful, may no harm come to me. Can you do this all the time? Maybe if you know you are going to die, you can take it back. May I be well, happy. Then you are very stressing yourself. You are very scared. The moment you are scared, that creates soka, dosa. You're going to die. I don't like it. I'm going to be against with my death. So it shouldn't be something that has to come with pressure, fear, insecurity. So metta as a practice, I would say being able to practice metta according to what the Buddha said in the Metta Sutta is the greatest way to do it. So you're starting earlier in your life, so then it is happening every day. And then one day you are dying with the same mindset. You are not doing anything in particular. It is your life. So how to, according to Metta Sutta, what did the Buddha say? Buddha say, speak with metta, act with metta, think with metta. So what is more easier, going and sitting down somewhere and thinking, may I be well, happy, peaceful, no harm come to me, and then versus always when you engage with other people, house people, family people, work people, outside people, talk with metta to those people. When you deal with them with acts, you act with metta. When you think about anything, your life, work, business, anything, even the future, you think with metta. What can I do for these people? How to help them in the best way, if I could? That is real metta. That means metta has come to your real life at that point. So that is what we understand as the true metta, which we see according to the Metta Sutta. So, as I said, one of the benefits of practicing metta is being able to die peacefully. In the sutta terms, mindfully. Asang mulho kalang. Asang mulho, no mulha. No sammula, that means mindfulness. One of the other benefits of metta is being able to go to sleep comfortably, conveniently, peacefully. Before we think about dying, we have to sleep well, right? Isn't it? First, we have to sleep well. We don't think about dying one day. So then the first thing the Buddha said is Sukhang Supati. When people are talking about, I can't sleep well. Sometimes I'm struggling in my bed for 1 to 2 hours, almost 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Why can't I sleep? Maybe you don't have enough metta to sleep. Everybody has their own problems, but how to understand one's problems and being able to get to that point. So the Buddha said, being able to go to sleep comfortably, happily, is the first benefit of metta. Now I'm going to connect the next one to Suppa Buddha here. Okay? And then Sukhang Patibujjati, being able to wake up happily, is also one of the 11 benefits of metta. Being able to wake up happily. How practical is this? Now, if someone cannot sleep for some hours, straight hours, that waking up might not be a comfortable, happy waking up. In some of the suttas, it is said when you have done metta properly and have been engaging in kusala activities in all postures. Now, in this stanza, someone is engaging in akusala in all 4 postures. If you have been engaging in kusala in all 4 postures, then you will be reborn in a better place, just like you wake up happily. Sutta pabuddhovya. I'm going to type it in the chat here. Sutta pabuddhovya. That means just as someone wakes up. So this is a simile that some of the suttas are using to say that when you have been engaging in metta and kusala activities, your death happens peacefully. You can manage it. And when you are reborn, your rebirth is something that happens to you in a way that you are waking in the next morning. Then at that point, we don't have to worry about our death, right? Because we are going to wake up just like we are waking up happily, peacefully, right? Because all these religions are coming out of this death. Death is a very difficult feeling. Death is such a painful feeling. And we see how other people are being killed in today's world. So that resonates us. So that creates us lots of insecurity. My death, what will happen to me one day? And seclusion, isolation, rejection. That's why Buddhism says, if you create your own metta practice, that will take care of you, take care of all these problems. So here, Suppa Buddha, the Pali word Suppa Buddha could be, there's no particular meaning here, given in the suttas and other places. This particular person was someone who was woken up, maybe who woke up peacefully. But there is no any particular reason that was given to his name, because he was a Sotapanna. At the end of the story, perhaps he woke up from the sleep of the Kilesa, Asava Kilesa Papancha. Because, so that means we are not yet Super Buddha, right? I mean, if we are lucky if we have a good wake up early in the morning. Otherwise, Dhamma wise, if we have to wake up in the proper way, even from the akusala, that means Super Buddha. So Super Buddha Kutti. Kutti means this is a disease at that time, even today. Leprosy. Super Buddha Kutti. That means this person called Super Buddha was suffering from leprosy. Okay. So what happened actually? Super Buddha used to live in the city of Rajagaha. But then the stanza was given in the Jetavana temple, Savatthi. What happened was that every time Super Buddha used to go to Vihara, when Buddha was living in Rajagaha, he couldn't get in the shrine hall. Perhaps other people didn't like him because he is having the leprosy. So he had a problem. I think in one of our classes, we even talk about some of the thieves who entered the Dhamma hall, right? Remember? Who pickpocketed somebody. So think about the Buddha's time, the audience was not that always good, they were pickpocketers, I think today's audience is much better than that time. So Buddha had to go through a lot of things, right? There were pickpocketers entered into this shrine hall structures. But this person, a leper, was not welcomed by others. So he managed to sit down somewhere. And one day, he was very happy listening to the Dhamma talk, which was given by the Buddha. And then he became a Sotapanna due to a certain understanding, knowing about the Dhamma, the internalization of the Dhamma. So then he went back to his house because he couldn't see the Buddha. Many people were around the Buddha. So the next day, he wanted to come see the Buddha just to thank him for everything, Dhamma talks and all these things. So on the way, when he was coming, the god Sakka, Indra, thought, I would test Super Buddha today. Super Buddha was a pauper, beggar. Also, he was suffering a lot because of the leprosy, skin problem everywhere. So today I'm going to test this Super Buddha. So what he did was that while Super Buddha was going to the temple, Sakka managed to show him, and then he was talking to him. Some stories are saying that Sakka was in the sky, and then the Sakka was asking him, can you say something? If you say this particular thing, I would give you lots of money. Money means gold and those things. Then he asked, who are you? Because he couldn't understand. That means even a Sotapanna sometimes cannot understand the gods, devas. He said, I'm Sakka. Then he asked, what should I say? He said, you have to say 6 things. What are the 6 things? Buddha is not Buddha, number 1. Dhamma is not Dhamma. Sangha is not Sangha. I have had enough of the Buddha. I have had enough of the Dhamma. I have had enough of the Sangha. Can you say these sentences to me? I give you lots of gold. Then he said, you are an unwise person. Super Buddha was telling Sakka, because I have already got the 7 noble wealth in this Buddha Sasana. Seven noble wealth. Actually, there are 7 wealth that all the Aryas can acquire. What are they? Saddha, Sila, Hiri, Ottabba, Sutta, Chaga, Panya. Right? There are 7 noble wealth. It doesn't mean that Aryas don't need to work. If you, I mean, let's say there may be a layperson who has become Sotapanna, but that Sotapanna can continue to work in this world. But in the spiritual world, they don't need to think that they are lack of normal wealth, material wealth. And then what happened was that Supabuddha Kuti, this person who is a Sotapanna, went to see the Buddha and told the Buddha this particular story. Said that someone called Sakka stood on my way and he asked me to say 6 things, but I have no doubts about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and their association. I am not bored of their association, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So I can never say that Buddha is not Buddha, Dhamma is not Dhamma, Sangha is not Sangha. I can never come to the point that I have had enough of the Buddha. I have had enough of the Dhamma. I have had enough of the Sangha. I continue to support. I continue to associate. I continue to respect. So this is something happened to me. And then the Buddha said, yes, I understand, because you are a Sotapanna. Sotapannas have been firmly rooted in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Where do we find this idea that Sotapannas are firmly rooted in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha? Triple Gem? Ratana Sutta. How did the Buddha say that they are firmly rooted? Let's go to the Ratana Sutta and we'll take a look, because you are reading these suttas time to time, right? Then we can find out those places. Okay. So, right.
Yatinda Kilo Patavici.
Sila batang papiak pada kinci.
Yeah, you can see that these places, Kinchapiso Kamman Karoti Papaka, see, Ababbata Ditta Padasaputta, they are very open-minded to say whatever the things happen to them. They cannot hide any akusala as well. And you can see, where is that? Yatinda Kilo. This is the way. Yatinda Kilo Pataving Sitosia Chatuppivatebi Asampakampiyo. Tatupama Sappursamada. What does this mean? Yatin the kilo. In the kilo means this is a certain what do you call
Pole.
Certain pole, which is normally placed in the middle of the kingdom. And then what happened? This is normally placed to show the boundary of the king's area. So this particular pole is not shakeable from any wind. So it is said that the trust about the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, the trust that the Sotapanna has been creating towards the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha will never be shaken by any activity. That is why normal people, Saddha is the Pali word, right? Saddha towards Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is always going up and down. It's like the weather, right? Sometimes windy, sometimes raining, sometimes too much Saddha, you know. There are some people who have too much Saddha. Sometimes there is no Saddha at all, dry Saddha, right? Sometimes outpour, right? That's why the Buddha said it's better to come to that level. So your Saddha is regulated, properly, duly regulated. So then the Buddha told him this is no surprise because you are a Sotapanna. Nobody can change your mind because you have been experiencing the 7 noble wealth at this point. Then what happened? He went back. On the way, what happened was that he was attacked by a what do you call a cow, a young cow, young female cow, maybe a heifer, and then he died because of that attack. Now this attacking by a young female cow is very interesting because we have 4 people who were attacked by the same young female cow. Why is this happening? It is said that in the story, this young female cow is not really a cow. It was a cow in that life, but this is a yakini, a female demon, a female spirit, because the 4 people, the first one is what you call Supabuddha Kuti, and then Pukkusati, Bahya Daruchiriya, and Thambadatika Chol. These 4 people, some of them they were able to attain Nibbana, some of them were able to make it to Anagami, Sotapatti. They were all attacked by the same cow. It is said in the story that these 4 people associated a courtesan, an escort in a past life, and after giving money to her, stealing the money that they given to her, and they killed her. While she was being killed, she made a revenge. One day, I'm going to kill all these 4. So this is what has been happening to these 4 people in this last life, Bahya Daruchiri, and then Pukkusati, Thambadatika, and then in this story, Supabuddha Putti. So that means some of the accidents that happen to certain individuals, they are not really accidents. They were certain karmic issues. Now think about the first story, Pukkusati. Who is Pukkusati? Why he was attacked by the same cow? Pukkusati was a Brahmin who lived in Gandhara, the modern northern West Pakistan, and it was part of India. And he came to see the Buddha. And he met the Buddha in a certain place, but he didn't know that he was the Buddha, right? Because Buddha is a normal person, not like that you see the Buddha in the shrine hall, right? In today's world. And then finally he managed to understand what he was talking. The whole story was given in the sutta called Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya's 140. This sutta, Dhatu Vibhanga. This is the sutta which talks about the Pukkusati's Pukkusati's meeting with the Buddha. Pukkusati was able to become an anagami person, but what happened? He was killed by the same cow. Now the problem is this. Why someone like Pukkusati, who turned to become an anagami, that means almost closer to the Nibbana, had to be killed by, had to undergo this accident, had to undergo this tragic incidents? Because when someone curses on you in a life, this curse can come after you, especially if you've done a bad thing to that person. So Buddhism always advising, don't try to make people into a curse. Because that lady who made a curse, the way how you're killing me now, I'm going to kill all of you in the same way. And she made that curse is coming after them, although they are practicing lots of dharma things, right? So something to be concerned in our life. And what about Bahya Daruchiriya? Bahya Daruchiriya was a seaman who was doing business in the sea. So one day what happened, his ship was wrecked in the sea. He managed to come to the shore. But then what happened, he had no clothes. He managed to come to a certain area where there were no people. So he managed to find a certain, create a certain cloth out of the birch wood. And then people started, so some other people saw him. Then they thought this might be an enlightened person. So then he acted as an enlightened person at that time. Yeah, I'm an enlightened person. So they started respecting him. So one mother in his previous life came to see him as a deva and told him, don't deceive people. You are not an enlightened person. If you want to become enlightened, you have to go see the Buddha somewhere, maybe Savatthi at that time. Then he said, okay. Then he went to see the Buddha. So Buddha was on the Pindapata round, and then he did not say anything. Then he wanted to talk few times. He started talking the first time, second time, the Buddha said nothing. And the third time, Bahya Daruchariya told the Buddha, Bhante, we don't know whether you will die or I will die today. So can you give me a Dhamma talk, short Dhamma talk? And then Buddha thought, why is this man asking about the death? Then he saw this man will be killed by a cow today afternoon. So then I have to give him a short Dhamma thing. Even the Buddha cannot stop someone's death. If you are karmically supposed to die, Buddha couldn't avoid it. What the Buddha did was that Buddha wanted to help his sansaric life. Then he said, Daruchiriya, ditte dittamattang, sute sutamattang, mute mutamattang, vinyate vinyatamattang. A very, very short Dhamma talk that made him into Nibbana. Now you are listening to Dhamma talks for the whole lifetime, but he only heard 4 sentences, he attained Nibbana. What are those words? Ditte dittamattang. Daruchiriya, when you see something, you only understand that I only see it, I don't want to interpret what I see. Ditte dittamattang. Sute sutamattang. Daruchiriya, when you hear sounds, don't try to interpret all the time what sound, who said this, who sang this. Just hear only. Mute mutamattang. Mute mutamattang means when you sense something, just understand I sense only. I don't want to find out what kind of sense is that. Is it better than yesterday? Is it better than today? Will this be better than tomorrow? Don't try to do those kinds of interpretations. Vinyate vinyatamattang. When you think something, just understand I think that this is a thought. I don't want to interpret my thoughts a lot. Don't try to read this to you right away, because this is meant for the Bahya Daruchari. Bahya Daruchari was a fake arahant just a couple of days before. But he has done all the spiritual paramitas in previous lives. By learning this fourfold ditte dittamattang, when I see, I only see. When I hear, I only hear. When I sense, I only sense. When I think, I only think. By understanding this fourfold quick Dhamma teaching, he attained Nibbana. Now he's a layperson. Normally it is said when you become an arahant, normally you can't stay as a layperson. You must be a monk, nun, or you must die, pass away. Right? That is what we hear. What happened? In a moment of time after Buddha left, he was attacked by the same female cow. That was a karma he did with other 3 friends in a past life. And then other monks who were there with the Buddha told, Bhante, the man you gave a Dhamma talk just now was killed by a cow over there. He said, he is not a man, he is an arahant. Make a pagoda for him. Oh, really? Then they were starting to make a pagoda for him, tupa for him. So this was a friend of Supabuddha, criminal friend in a past life. So now Pokusati was a criminal friend. Now Bahya Daruchirya was the second criminal friend. Now the third one, Tambadatika. Tambadatika means he was a copper smith in a way. He was doing copper smith. But later on, the government advertised a position, what he called the official executioner. When someone does a bad thing, when the death penalty is on that person, this Dhammapada is the one who executes that person. So he has been executing more, thousands people. You know, that was done at the request of the judiciary at that time. So later on, he retired from the executioner post. Then he managed to see the Buddha. He started following the Buddha's teachings. And one day, what happened was that he passed away. Then the unenlightened monks, they were saying, look, this Dhammapada, this man killed a lot of people. And then he must have gone to a bad place. And the Buddha said, no. Although he had done a lot of such executioning, during the time he passed away, he had a good mind. His mind was less with raga dosa moha, lobha dosa moha. So he was reborn in a better place, but he will go through pain for other bad karma he had done. But now what had happened to him was he was able to spend that moment of the death with less lobha dosa moha, raga dosa moha. Anyway, he didn't attain Nibbana or whatever, Dhammapada. But Pukusati was an Anagami, Bahayidaruchiriya, Arahan, Dhammapada was a normal person, but a good rebirth. And finally, Dhammapada actually passed away by the same, attacked by the same female cow somewhere. Because it is bad karma coming for all these four. And the last one is Supabuddha Kurti in this story. So now, then what do we need to understand in this story? And then what is the advice for us? That means do not engage in any akusala, because when you engage in any akusala, what you are making is that you are making yourself as the worst enemy to you in the samsara. Because we are leaving these bodies, we are going with our changing karmas. So that's why the Buddha said, using Supabuddha Kuti, look at Supabuddha Kuti, although he had the benefit of learning Dhamma, being able to attain Sotapatti, but the very karma that he did with his 3 other friends followed him. So were the Bahyadaruchiriya, Pukusati, Dhammapada. That is number 1. Number 2 is that Supabuddha did not sell his teaching to anybody. Now, when you are following the true Dhamma, you can't be sold off by anybody. You are not for sale because you have the real wealth with you. I think we have to discuss about that part, because not everybody is equally rich, equally poor, whatever. What is the Buddhist understanding about money? I always share with you in many Dhamma teachings, even our Sutta reading classes in many places. I always say the Buddha had a very clear idea about the money. He always said money is not evil, but the way you're going to engage with money, how you're going to deal with money, how you're going to manage your finances can make you evil, can make your money become evil. So money is a necessity. Poverty is a suffering in Buddhism. Dalityang bhikkhave dukkha. So the Buddha asked lay people, you need to manage your finances. Can I know where Buddha talk about these teachings? What are the suttas where Buddha talk about these finances?
Sigalovada Sutta.
Sigalovada Sutta is one of the places where Buddha asked lay people to manage their finance. Buddha does not even talk about the Nibbana. A lot of people misunderstand. The only thing what the Buddha said was Noble Eightfold Path. Yes, but until you get there, you should have a good life. You should, be a good person, because you might not be able to get there right away. Right? That's why the Buddha said, manage your finances. Wealth management is very important for a better life. That's number 1. What are the other suttas where Buddha talks about wealth management?
It's the Dikajanu Sutta? The long
Digajanu, yeah,
Digajanu.
Vyaggapadya Sutta. This is another one. Very interesting sutta. What does that sutta say? The Buddha said, there was a man called Digajanu approached the Buddha, asking Buddha, Bhante, we are very luxurious people. We don't want a lot of Dhamma talk from you. Can you tell us something to better advance our lay life? Then the Buddha said, 4 things for this life, 4 things for next life. Very interesting Dhamma talk. Because not everybody who came to see the Buddha, they are not willing to attain Nibbana. Some clearly asked the Buddha, how to manage my this life, how to manage my next life. What did the Buddha say? Uttana Sampada, Arakka Sampada, Samajivi Kata, Kalyana Mittata are the 4 things that every lay person must cultivate in order to feel happy, safe, prosperous in this life. First one, Uttana Sampada. You have to have a, you have to have a energetic striving. You have to have that persistent striving. A Buddhist cannot be lazy, right? For the both side, meditation and then the lay life. They can't be lazy. And the second thing is Uttana Sampada, Arakka Sampada. Uttana Sampada, Arakka Sampada means
Protection.
Protection. Who will do the protection for us? Are we going to give everything to insurance companies, liability companies, and we feel good? No. Protection has to be created by us. Sometimes we are creating unnecessary mess, so we are at jeopardy. We are at risk from other people. Right? Also, we have to look for insurance as well. I think we discussed in another sutta about it at the time. Third one, that means second one is protection has to be created. Third one, Samajivi Kata. Income and expenses must be balanced out. What a very interesting teaching is this. Expenses must not go beyond the income. And then we go back to the Sigaluvada Sutta. Ekena boge bunjaya dvihikam mampayojay chatuttancha nidapeya apadasubha. Buddha said, have a shadow idea about your income. You might not make a lot, but less for self expenditures, more towards investment, and then some for emergencies. Right? This is what we understand. The third one is balancing out income and expenses. Fourth one, Kalyana Mittata, being surrounded with the Kalyana Mittas. So, what will these 4 do to us, especially for you, to make your lay life better till you pass it? And then now what can we do for the next life? Are you going to wait until you die to do things for next life? That's a very risky thing, right? What you need to do for the next life must have done while living here. What are they? Saddha Sampada, Sila Sampada, Chaga Sampada, Panya Sampada. You have to believe in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha and create more security in terms of life, relationships, everything. Sila Sampada, discipline is very important. It can come to you in the way of precepts, Vinaya, whatever the thing, Sikha. Then, Chaga Sampada, generosity. Engage in generosity. Not even dana activity, but also giving knowledge, giving time. Nowadays, one of the biggest dana is being able to listen to the other person. Because listening has been a very difficult thing for many people. Listening means you're giving your time for someone. At least you show that you are listening to someone. Right? Like when you are going to listen to a Dhamma talk or maybe another thing, what you are normally supposed to show, I am willing to learn. Then only the speaker becomes encouraged. I am willing to learn. When the speaker knows you are willing to learn, the speaker can be motivated, encouraged to give the best contents of the teachings. Right? Chaga Sampada, this generosity. has to be practiced. Food, time, knowledge, everything. And then sacrifices, compromising. Last one, panya. I have to become a wise person. I may know a lot of things. My knowledge is okay. I can sometimes rationalize myself about my knowledge, but sometimes I might not be wise enough. So knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom must be put together. Finally, I must be the embodiment of my own wisdom. Panya Sampada. So what does the Buddha say? If you want to succeed well in your lay life, you must do 4 things in here. If you want to succeed in the next life, you must have done another 4 things in this life. What are these things? Are they about Nibbana? No, they are things that you need until you go to Nibbana. Until you go to Nibbana, you need a successful life. Without the successful life, how to think about the Nibbana? And then what are the other suttas? Pattakamma Sutta. What is it? Pattakamma Sutta. We have discussed this sutta in many sutta studies. Pattakamma Sutta means how to die blamelessly, especially when somebody passes away, other people are talking, how much money this person had put in the bank, savings, bonds and whatever, but this person had not spent any money. Now all the money going to the government now. That means there was no proper plan for his or her money while she was living. Now after she passed, Buddha said, never get the blame from wise people when you pass away for your money, for your wealth. Invest properly and have a plan. And even the Buddha said in the Pattakamma Sutta that make a will, make a proper will with terms and conditions. Right? Are you concerned about these things? Because Buddha is asking you, because sometimes there are moments when your inheritance goes to someone that you don't like, you suffer a lot too. How come my money go to these people? Then what can I do? Make a will with terms and conditions. So Buddha even looked at the situation after you pass away. You pass away without complicating the people in your household, complicating your parents, complicating your siblings, right? So now I just want to tell you, the Buddha is very clear about financial management. It's a very big topic. That means you need to maintain that particular aspect. Now then, let's go back to the Super Buddha's noble wealth. Saddha Danang, Sila Danang, Hiriyottappa Danang. What are these wealth? Saddha Danang. Trust is a wealth. Is trust a wealth? Yes, security. Now think about a family who is always having problems due to their insecurity. They are suspecting each other. Children are suspecting the mother, father. Parents are suspecting children. Partners are suspecting the other one. Right? So that means when someone attains Sotapatti, trust is well managed. Then Sila, discipline, when someone is having a Sila continuously, that person is very happy. I haven't broken my vows. I keep to my vows. I keep to the vow of not killing, not stealing, not sexually misconducting, not lying. I'm so happy about it. That wealth cannot be attained by giving millions of money. That happiness is hard to attain from money. Then Hiriyottappa, moral shame, moral fear. I'm very embarrassed to engage in a bad karma. You think about like that. That's a wealth. But what if there's somebody, doesn't matter, just do it just one time. But that moral shame will become your wealth if you keep it. And moral fear, as this stanza is talking, when you know the karmic results, you are feared about it. Then Sutta Chaga, learning Dhamma, understanding those Dhamma things, internalizing all those Dhamma things, that learning not even end up in learning itself. That learning goes beyond learning to the rationalization, understanding and internalization. It's a journey. It's not a one day or maybe 1 year, 2 year learning program. university academic style learning. It has to go beyond that. And then chaga, generosity is my wealth. I would like to give away by understanding my wealth. I have to keep certain money for me till I die, but I try to engage in more generous activities. Finally, panya, my wisdom. How many times I have been able to save myself from unnecessary people, unnecessary issues in my family outside because I was wise. I made the right choice. So wisdom is the best wealth at that point. So Super Buddha Kuti was telling Sakka, you can't buy my money. You can't buy my spiritual wealth, noble wealth. I attain Sotapatti. You can't buy me, even by giving me thousands, millions of gold. So it's a very interesting way to look at how Super Buddha paid off his karma and how Super Buddha looked at uh, uh, people who were trying to, now Sakka really wanted to check his way, but even if somebody else was to ask, he would have given the same answer, right? So now let's go and take a look about our notes within a short time, and then we will be going for the questions. Right? You can see Sakka and then Super Buddha. You can be your own worst enemy. I think this is what we've been talking at the beginning. That means if you engage in akusala activities in all four postures, definitely the worst enemy is not outsider, not coming from your family, not coming from outside people, work people. You are your own enemy. That's why you take care of yourself, take care of your thoughts, speech, and then thoughts, acts. Unwisdom wears the mask of self-interest. Self-interest, this is an interesting point, right? Those who are unwise believe that they are doing something good for themselves simply by pursuing wealth, power, pleasure with someone, some unwholesome motives. That's an interesting thing. Sometimes in today's world, we accommodate other people as a courtesy, right? Their views, how they look at life, how they look at conventional things. But as a follower of the Buddha, you need to take a bit of caution when looking at your own self-interest. Are they really friendly with what I have been learning from the Buddha? Otherwise, you might engage in certain non-virtuous activities that could create some akusala. That's why I say always go beyond your self-interest. If it is ethical, there's no problem. But if it's unethical, it might mask akusala. So it can come in the mask of self-interest, akusala things. Teaching of the Buddha is greater than wealth. When Sakka promised Super Buddha a fortune, gold, money, if he would give up the Buddha, he laughed in his face. Why? Because he had known something worthy more than gold. The assurance of spiritual refuge. True trust in the Buddha Dhamma Sangha is indomitable, not because it's blind, but because it has been tested. Super Buddha knew that material wealth is perishable, but wisdom is the most important. Okay? Real riches are not in your hands, but in your heart. It's 7 treasures that which I just discussed. Maybe I'm going to send you a sutta about these 7 treasures after on WhatsApp. So you will go to a text about, there are many other suttas where Buddha talks about 7 treasures, noble wealth actually. Your mind can either uplift or destroy you, which is pretty easy to understand. And then Sakkaya Ditti is the real leprosy. Now this Super Buddha had leprosy, right? It's a very bad disease. If it was not leprosy that afflicted Super Buddha, it was not what made him low. What made him greater than kings was his humility, clear vision, spiritual boldness, right? The sickest type of illness is the ego, that means Sakkaya Ditti. That's interesting, right? Sometimes it's not the physical pain that we have to treat as such. It is the real source of the problem here. That means Sakkaya Ditti is what comes in different forms, self-interest and all that. Kamma may be immediate, mysterious, delayed, but never avoided. Superbuddha achieved Sotapatti and was immediately killed by a heifer, a young female cow who hasn't given birth, an allegory for the erratic ripening of past karma. This is not to say that Dhamma let him down, far from it. It demonstrates that liberation is not contingent upon anything physical. To die a painful death is no great loss, but when the mind suffers from the poison of delusion, that's a real loss. Now think about an attack from a cow who had very big horns. Would that be an easy death? That's a very painful death. And this is a young female cow, being very insane at that point, going to kill. So that's why. The same thing, this is the same thing that happened to Moggallana, Arhan Moggallana, right? He killed his mother and father in a past life, so he had to go through it. We should take serious concern about engaging any slight karma. This is what these Superbuddha Kutti, Pukusati, Bahya Daruchiriya, Tambadatika, all these stories are telling us take extreme caution in even making a slight akusala. One moment of wisdom outweighs lifetime of ignorance. That means Superbuddha was able to listen, understand, rationalize, and then finally able to internalize what he heard. Even he was not in the crowd, he was near the gate. Temptation always knocks where trust about the triple gem is strong. Sakka tested not a weak person in trust, but a person recently roused while the illumination was fresh and tender. That means Sotapan person. Wisdom and intelligence are not the same. I think we have discussed this many times. Superbuddha was neither a student, nor a philosopher, nor a noble, but he knew something that many well-read people never realize, that holding onto the world causes suffering, dukkha, and taking refuge in Dhamma brings peace. So many wise people remain, it's not a good word to say, very stupid, as a result of misdirecting their minds. True wisdom is not cleverness, it is seeing the world as it is and being able to meet it with clarity, kindness. There might have been a lot of people around the Buddha at that time, maybe, who were listening to Dhamma talks at that time. But he, being an occasional, person who went to hear Dhamma talk, was able to get the most important thing out of the Dhamma teachings. Even though he couldn't go and sit down. Maybe people didn't like him, go sit down. Maybe he couldn't go there because of the crowd. Peace comes from within, not from protection. Finally, to be wise is to be kind to yourself first. The unwise injures themselves when doing an evil activity. They talk mean accurately, then they are weighted down with hate. But these are things that eat away at their own peace of mind. To be wise is to know this starkly and to stop the things that cause us to suffer. Though being such an adversary, Superbuddha with Dhamma became his own counselor. That means he understood that if he could make up his mind, that would be the best friend. Wisdom is not simply in knowing philosophy, Buddhist philosophy. It is in desisting from self-harm and walking tenderly with your mind. That means Kusala path. I don't know whether you can remember that we finish the Chittavagga, the chapter on thoughts, with very interesting 2 stanzas. Can you remember those 2 stanzas? Diso disang yantang kaira viriva panavirinang micha panihitang chittang papiyo nang tato kare. The ill-directed mind causes more harm than one thief, the damage that one thief does to another thief. When a thief is going to do another bad thing to another thief, how much organized should that thief be, right? But ill-directed mind causes more damage. And on the other hand, we said the well-directed mind is bringing a lot of happiness, which you even will not be able to get from your family. Right? So this is what we understand from Superbuddha's story. Now in this story, he made his life and he compensated for the past karma, but finally he made himself the best friend in his life, although he was suffering from leprosy. All right, so now we can go for any questions you have. If you have a question, please raise your virtual hand.
Bhante,
Yes.
Bhante, just now you say the Super Buddha finally became a Sotapana, is it?
Yeah.
Then the Bahia is Arahan. Pukusati become what?
Anagami.
Anagami. And Tambada Tika don't have anything, right?
Tambadatika just passed away but was reborn in a better place.
Yeah, okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Yes, TC, let's go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Very interesting Dhamma talk tonight especially. The beginning that you mentioned about we have to prepare for our death mindfully and what they call peacefully. So at this moment, when before the death arrive, we have to be always never do unwholesome things, and all the aspects we have to do the wholesome thing. And the second one is about a very interesting story about Super Buddha's Kuti story, involved with karma, right? Okay, then I think last week only about the Air India crashes. To me, is a kind of miracle. 261 passengers all died except one. So I wish to take this opportunity to please, Bhante, can you talk about it? Is that something to do with karma also? Or the wholesome practice or unwholesome practice of these passengers?
Well, here's the thing. Now, how to look at a tragedy that happens to someone. Now, in the case of Super Buddha, we understand he killed an escort lady in a past life with his three friends. It's what you call a group murder, and he had to compensate for that. In terms of we have something called collective karma. Collective karma means it can be good, it can be bad. Think about a company is going for ecotourism, maybe eco plans. That means one company is trying to say sustainable environment. Maybe they want to talk about, going paperless activities. Maybe they want to talk about CO2 emission, reduction of CO2 emissions. So this whole company, with regard to the management and the people, they are working towards collective karma. And the flip side of this is that there could be certain moments where some people don't know the numbers. Maybe it could be a bigger number or less number. They might have done something bad. Think about the story. 7 monks in a story, they managed to climb a mountain with a ladder. And then when they went to the top, what they did was that they pushed the ladder. Now they cannot go down because we must attain Nibbana, and then through levitation only we can go. And then what happened was that they were going through some pain, and then it was said in a story to their karma that in one of their life, those 7 monks, being playful kids, they found an iguana. They put the iguana into a certain cave and then closed the holes. So the iguana had to be in the place for 7 days. So that means karma can be a reason. But in this tragedy, we cannot give a clear idea about it. There is a possibility, and at the same time, we never know. As you said, yes, you can look at that one person who survived and the other people who died, right? So we cannot give a proper idea, rather than we want to understand what are the possible conditions that could create collective karma from Buddhism. Because we don't want to demonize those 200 people as bad people who've done something wrong together. We never know. But there may be not. Yeah, that's how we have to look at it. It's only the Buddha can tell that kind of an idea because he has the knowledge to differentiate karmic results.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Good.
Bhante,
Yes.
I did not get the names of the other three men. Can you please write it down, the names that I want to look
Okay.
into it? Thank you,
Right.
Bhante.
So the first person is Pukusat. The second person was Bahya Daruchedi. It will be under the chat. Third one is Tambadatika. The fourth one is our topic today, Supabuddha Kuti. Okay, if there are no questions at this point.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, then we can wrap this up, our discussion today.
The sutta you want to send is which one?
Pardon me? The sutta?
7 noble qualities, 7 noble wealth.
I will send it in the group. Yeah. So you will understand better, not just putting it here now. Okay, so then we will then reflect upon all the good karmas. Okay, one more question. Where did the Buddha say the four share in this story? In the story. The story here, Dhammapada Katha. In this particular story, because it annexes to the other three people. Okay, may all the good karmas we be making today by learning about this Dhammapada stanza, about karma, and then wisdom and wisdom, and then I mean, how do these karmas come after us, chase after us, and what to do at least. May all these good karmas be transferred to all the departed deceased ones, loved ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. Idam me nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayo. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of you for good health, quality of life, prosperity, safety. In particular, may Deva, Naga, Mahitika bless all our Dhamma journeys. May Deva, Naga, Mahitika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu sasanam. Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desanam Akasattha cha bhummatta devanaga mahiddhika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu mang parang chirang rakhantu tvam sadanti. Then we are moving on to our Dhammavish. Our Dhammavish is to continue surrounding with Kalyana Mittas. Maybe also become Kalyana Mittas to as many people as we meet in this Sansaric journey. With this noble wish, we are going to make the stanza available. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavani bana pattiya. Finally, let's reflect the all good karmas we've been making today. May all these good karmas we're making today be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silissa nichang vadha pachayinu chataru dhamma vadhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samichatu sadhu sadhu sadhu. With those blessings, wishing you a pleasant night, evening, and we'll be seeing next Thursday at the same time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you,
Bhante.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Sadhu, Bhante.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Sadhu. Thank you. Thank you, Bhante.
Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante. Have a nice day.
Yes.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.